Attention please. This uploading is only for educational purpose. No intention to infringe copyrights. Learning English with subtitles. GPITRAL. Follow us.
Part 3.
Pasadena, Texas.
He's just flying down this floodplain here.
This crook, who just snatched a purse, embarks on one of the wildest chases in Texas history.
Video of the white pickup is filmed from a helicopter.
He runs like a man facing a murder charge.
Head on into traffic.
Police hope this reckless pursuit won't turn into one.
The speeding pickup swerves across a fork in the road. Its back end pulls out, sending it spinning to a stop. Then it drives off.
Now, for the first time, Captain Bud Corbett of the Pasadena PD recounts the epic hunt, which will rage on for a terrifying 100 miles.
Most chases are less than 3 minutes in duration. The duration of the chase was so lengthy, it was very difficult to try to accurately assess when it might come to an end.
And he is still going.
Officers block off an intersection, trying to box the madman in. But he finds a way out.
The truck drives off the road and across a stretch of grass.
The suspect escapes into a parking lot, dodging cruisers at every turn. He mocks their show of force, barreling through a stand of trees and into the clear.
The suspect often chose an off-course route through fields, medians, public walkways, and at one point even a golf course.
It drives over a railway track.
It seems no obstacle can stop him.
Oh, almost an accident.
Even when damage is done.
Oh no, he just nailed that guy.
And the suspect was involved in numerous collisions.
This newly released dashcam footage shows the horror of this marathon hell ride up close.
The pickup is now heading down an empty straight road.
As the pursuit hits the highway, the suspect suddenly fires from his driver's side window.
Subtitles, 3230. He just shot at me. Shots fired, shots fired.
The sound of gunshots puts other drivers on edge, which leads to disaster.
Another pickup turns into the path of the pursuing police car.
An innocent motorist is so dazed by his close call with the maniac that he swerves into an officer's path, taking one cruiser out of the pursuit. As the chase stretches on and more lives are put at risk, cops find their chance to bring it to an end by putting out spike strips.
Right over that spike strip. Oh, there goes a tire.
Even with no front tires, the criminal refuses to throw in the towel.
Oh, that was close.
But avoiding oncoming traffic brings the man's 3.5-hour escape to a splashing end.
The pickup rolls down a grassy slope and ends up in a narrow river behind a road bridge.
As he's hauled away, the crook gives police a shocking explanation for his brutal rampage.
When the suspect was asked by police personnel what the purpose was for all this, he indicated that he was depressed, he was out of work, and down on his luck.
The gunman, Kenneth Poole, won't get much happier after being sentenced to 30 years in jail. This outrageous chase was one of the longest, wildest, most dangerous pursuits these officers have ever experienced. But in the end, this high-stakes highwayman was sent up the river.
Captions, most shocking.
Bardonia, New York.
A sign says Barry's Estate Jewelry.
Owner Barry Fixler is having a sale at his jewelry shop. But the men who just entered aren't looking for a discount. They're looking for a steal.
A man peers at the jewelry in the display cabinet.
The man in the trench coat pretends to be shopping for an engagement ring.
The shopkeeper hands him a ring.
The first diamond I pulled out had to have it was $11,500. I put it in his hand. He kept looking at it, so I felt bad.
When Fixler pulls out a less expensive option, the thief pulls out a gun.
I looked up, and the gun was in my face. This is the real deal.
The shopkeeper flinches at the gun.
Fixler runs to the back counter when suddenly
The glass door shatters. The gunman and the accomplice drop to the floor.
he evens the odds against the crooks.
The gunman hurries out. His accomplice is shot in the doorway.
The jeweler pushes the weapon aside and goes for a firearm of his own.
I bolted to get my pistol, which is hidden behind the counter. Him and I just pointed guns at each other, face to face, 2 feet apart, and just started firing away.
One shot shatters the door. Another hits the accomplice. The gunman escapes out the front while his buddy slumps in the doorway. Officers apprehend the first man later that night.
There's a replay of the glass door shattering.
I think they were quite shocked that all of a sudden they had gone there just to do a robbery, and that the next thing that they knew, or they realized, was that the owner was actually firing upon him.
Matthew Ross is sentenced to 10 years in the state pen. Joseph Nipper's punishment is far worse. A lifetime in a wheelchair. He and his pal didn't realize they were tangling with an ex-Marine who never goes down without a fight.
I think Barry Fixler is a unique individual. I think he reverted back to his military training, and I'm firmly convinced that you just don't mess with the Marines.
The detective smiles broadly. There's a replay of the glass door shattering, the gunman dashing out of the shop, and his accomplice being shot and dropping to the floor. Captions: most shocking. Then a helicopter comes into land near trees.
Cibate, Colombia. Dignitaries from across the country convene at a military headquarters for a demonstration of new anti-terrorism techniques.
A grenade explodes in an empty room. Police aim their weapons at an empty coach.
But an exercise involving the rescue of bus hostages is about to inflict real-life terror.
A blue bus comes round a corner. It's about to hit a truck, which veers out of the way and slams into a low wall, knocking over a photographer and sending other people running for their lives. There's a replay of the collision.
As the bus approaches the grandstand, a truck carrying commandos loses control and smashes into the throng of press and VIPs. One photographer is still snapping shots when he's bowled over by the truck's wheels.
Some bystanders cover their mouths in shock. One person's rolling around on their back in pain.
Several people are rushed to the hospital.
A man's put into the back of an ambulance on a stretcher.
The photographer suffers 2 broken legs, but no one is killed in the ill-fated crash. The military got to practice their rescue techniques, but in a way they never expected.
There's a replay of the truck plowing into the crowd and the bystanders looking shocked.
Up next, a murderer dangles from a high-rise and takes a fall for his crime. And a stunned motorist survives one crash, but he's not out of danger yet. Straight ahead on the best of most shocking, reckless, and wild.